Hi, I'm Alan on this video. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our job rush. As you guys can see, I'm back in the normal place. That's beside the point, though. Today's gonna be an interesting video. So, not too long ago, Jazer made a video talking about how new extreme demons feel identityless. And it got me thinking a little bit, because I am under the assumption that they are very identity full. And I want to kind of like take a little bit of a closer look at it with very recent extremes. And by that, I mean, I just want to look at them. I want to take a look at a lot of their most recent extreme demons, and I want to just like, not really analyze them, but just take a closer look and be like, does this stand out to other things? And is it just if you don't pay attention to extreme demons, you just don't really think much about the new releases because there's so many of them? My personal hypothesis is that the reason why a lot of new extreme demons feel like they don't have any identity is simply because of the fact that there are so many of them, right? There are like 20 extreme demons getting rated per month almost, and that's a lot. There are so many extreme demons getting rated that there's really no chance for something to stick out like a sore thumb. And when they do, it's levels like Limbo. Yeah. So you get my point, right? It's like, even the most insane 6-star of all time that ever gets released, you're not going to really remember it that well because it's a 6-star. There are 10,000 6-stars getting released every day, right? It's that kind of mentality. What I thought we were going to do is we're going to have extreme demons. We're just going to do this, then we're going to go awarded. And I want to go through and I just want to watch the last, like, let's say 20. We're going to start at the very bottom here. We're going to be starting with Instinct by Crazy My Favorite Reel. I'm just going to watch videos. It's just going to be watching videos, reacting to the levels, and discussing very quickly for each level whether or not I feel like they stand out and if they're kind of memorable in any shape or form, right? That's really terrible. Oh, they only have 720p. That's awful. Sorry if my voice is a little bit bad, by the way. I have a little bit of a sore throat. I don't know why I've been getting so much sick recently. Anyway, this part is really cool. Yeah, like this is a level, to me at least, this looks like a level that would be so popular in like 2016. If this came out in 2016, people would just eat this shit up. Oh yeah, 100%. This part is cool. That is okay. That was a very random part to just suddenly be like, hey, let's make this look realistic. So far though, this is a level that feels like there's like individual parts that are like really cool and very memorable. That feels like just like every old mega collab ever though. Like with every like very old and distinct mega collab that's like super popular, there's always just a few parts that really stick out that people are like, yeah, this is the identity of the level. And I feel like this level has those parts. Oh, this is a cool gimmick. Okay, that's neat. That's a Kugel Blitz part. Oh, that's sick. Yeah, no, I think that's a cool level. It's just one of those levels that has like few individual parts that really stick out. Like this strip part right here is really cool. This sticks out. That's mostly because it doesn't fit. I think Kugel Blitz's part is really sick. So like, yeah, I think this is a memorable level in the sense that I feel like you can remember what happens, right? That's such a redundant thing to say. But you get what I mean though, right? Like, you get what I mean. That's just kind of like how it feels. But then you have Delta by Dracosa, which is, from what I know, from what I remember, this is like very, very typical Glow Mega Collab. It's supposed to be like kinda a sequel, prequel-ish to the other Greek ladders, Gamma, Omega, and Sigma, which immediately, I think that kind of just makes it so that it doesn't stick out too much. It's a cool level. It's a very well-crafted level, right? Like, I feel like a lot of people struggle to differentiate between identity and memorability with quality. I don't really think quality has anything to do with how memorable or how much personality a level has. Like, if a level is good and well made, that doesn't necessarily mean it's memorable, right? And I think this is probably like a decent example of that for me, at least, because as I'm watching this, like, very clearly every part looks very good, and it's just like, it's very easy to tell that it's a high quality made level, but I wouldn't be able to like pinpoint out specific parts that like makes it memorable to me personally, right? That could be a me thing. I don't know. I haven't really heard many thoughts and opinions on this level from other people, so I don't really know what like the general consensus is. But we're almost 60% in the level, and I just don't feel like there's anything that like truly has stuck out to me. There's no defining part, if I could say that, right? Yeah, I think that holds up for me personally. I think this is a level that just it's a very good level and very well made. It just doesn't have that factor that makes it memorable to me. Now this one's interesting. Right? This one's interesting to me. I haven't watched it, but Witching Hour is by Zoinkdoink and Sceptras. Zoinkdoink being a person who playtests a lot and works a lot with Loltad and like Hypno and that kind of gang, right? And he's a mobile player, so this is immediately going to be a lot more interesting, I think, just like based around like, I'm assuming very quirky gameplay. I think this is a very easy to remember level. This is a level that sticks out to me at least. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool little gameplay gimmick. Oh, that's a nasty last click. Yeah, no, I feel like this is just that, like, defining part is just the entire level. That's really cool. I feel like this is such an easy to remember level. I think the only reason why people won't really think much about it is because it's an easy extreme. So there's going to be like 5 people who ever play it, right? That's like the only downside. But that I feel like that's, again, just a byproduct of there being too many. Not necessarily the fact that the quality of it, the level itself is low, right? Next up is probably one of my favorite levels to come out recently, actually. Like I've seen this level already, but Headlock by Pac, this level is so cool. This is definitely a level that goes under the very easily memorable for me personally. But I think that has to do with the fact that I know how this level works, and in the fact that it is a 2-player level. Everything about this is so cool. I think this is just amazing personally. Like, this is such a memorable level to me. I don't know why. This is probably one of just the most easily recognizable levels to come out this year for me. It's so cool. It's so cool. Too bad I have the hand-eye coordination of a 2-year-old and I can't individually move my hands, because otherwise I would have played this and beaten this because it's cool. Next up is Beyond Hell, and I'm gonna be 100% on gone with you. This is what everyone says is wrong with extremes, but then again, I'm pretty sure this level is like 5,000 years old. It's a red hell level with wave and ship. It's probably just a Kino's ripoff, I can't lie. If you show this to someone, it's like, hey, look, extreme demons have quality, and yeah, not completely trash a level, but I would be lying if I said that this level stands out in any meaningful way. The only meaningful way that this level kind of stands out is the fact that it's really edgy. I don't know. To me, levels like this kind of become memorable because of how, like, absurdly edgy and goofy they are. Next up is Seriscape, and this is a really neat level, I think. It's made by Geo Norway, which is a sub of mine, so shout out. But Seriscape is kind of like, it's very similar to Skywalker levels, where it's very art focused. But I think this level in particular just kind of like, it builds on it. It's not better than something Skywalker could have made, obviously. It's just a very cute and neat level, like visually speaking, right? I feel like it's well crafted. But again, it's another easy extreme demon, so it's not going to be memorable to people because of the fact that, well, 2 people are going to play it, right? And I think that's such a shame for this level, especially. Oh, the little fish part. I love this fishy part. I think this part in particular is very cool. Like, this part right here sticks out like a sore thumb to me. Next up is Collect All Pets. This is a level that, okay, I'm gonna be real. I think there's like a specific genre of level that is memorable just because of the name. And I think Collect All Pets falls under that, where a level's identity and charm comes from the name itself. And I think this is something that was popularized, or started getting popularized, by the Breaking Bad trilogy. Quadrology? Is it a quadrology? I don't know if that's a word, bro. But where giving a level a silly name automatically makes it more memorable to people just because of the fact that it's a stupid name. It's easy to remember. Like, a level named Walter White, you're gonna remember, even if it's like the most basic and generic design level of all time. And I think this level kind of falls under that, where I will never remember how this level looks other than it being a design level, but I will remember the name Collect All Pets, because Collect All Pets is the dumbest name for a level I've ever heard in my life, right? That's not a bad thing whatsoever. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. It's just really silly and goofy. But I think that's part of the meta now for like creating memorable levels, is just make it as stupid as possible name-wise. Check out Critium next. Oh, this is a funk song? Yeah, no. Okay, so, not to generalize or anything, but the funk song levels are generally just very uninteresting. Yeah, it's kind of like flowish, very bright, flashy, click sync. It's not very interesting. Not gonna lie. This is like in one eye, out the other. No thoughts. Head empty. Next up is Cloudscape. Okay, this gives like kind of daydreamy vibes. I was kind of, with a name like Cloudscape, I was kind of expecting an art level. Been a lot of art extremes lately, I feel like. This doesn't look bad though. This looks kind of cute. It also looks very fun. I might play this. Yeah, I think this falls under the same realm as something like Delta, where it's a good level. There's just nothing for me to like latch onto anything in particular. It's just a good level. It's a good level with nothing spectacular that makes it like stick out. And the whole purpose of this video obviously is to like, is there anything that makes new extreme demons stick out? And for some of them there are a lot of things, but then other times like this or Delta, it's like they're very good levels, like they're well crafted and they look good, but can I realistically say that there is going to be something that I can like take away from the level afterwards and be like, yeah, this part in particular looks great, sticks out, it feels different enough to where I would actually memorize it and remember it? And I will be 100% honest, I don't think that's the case with this level. Not because it looks bad by any means. I actually genuinely think it looks very good, but I can't say that I will go away from this and in an hour from now be like, yeah, no, that Cloudscape, that was insane. Except is this one, Evermore by Adam. I've never heard of this level, so this is a brand spanking new. Uses water flame, so immediately a W. This structuring is really fascinating. The interesting everything is gone now. That's a shame. Man, that's such a shame because that beginning was so interesting. And now it's just kind of like a nothing burger. I really had nothing to say. Like, I don't really have anything. Like, I genuinely have nothing to comment on about this level. I really wish that they stuck with full and interesting structuring of the beginning because I think that's easily the coolest part of the level. And then past that, I feel like it just kind of got a little disappointing. Next up is Showdown by Colin. This is, I already know about this level because they're active in the GDDP server. And this is just a pretty well-polished design level. I don't really have much to say. I think I kind of like want to conclude stuff here and say that I think there are overall more levels now that like stick out to me personally, like quality-wise than before, and like personality-wise, and just like how memorable each level is. It's just that there are so many of them that it's so hard. Like, these are just the extremes that have come out in the past few weeks, right? And even though they look very good, I don't blame people for finding them unmemorable when they probably haven't even seen them. Because realistically, who's gonna be keeping up with every single Extreme Demon that releases? Like, there's a reason why even the most dedicated Extreme Grinders now will see a wave of Extreme Demon raids and be like, what the hell is this? Because they've never heard of it. It's just a random level that just exists now. It's not necessarily a lack of personality in the level itself as much as it's just a lack of I almost wanted to say quantity control, because to me at least a lot of these levels do stick out. Like, I think Trottle has its cool moments. Gardening map sticks out like a sore thumb. Collect all pets is a very good representation of funny name equals memorable. Sarahscape is a great art level. Shimmer has cool color choices. The lightning rod is beaming with personality. Pictured as Perfect is an incredibly well-crafted effect level based on an MV. Headlock is a very cool gimmick level. Witching Hour has incredibly cool gameplay mechanics and gimmicks. And Instinct by Crazy Man 50 Real has some OG parts and gameplay mechanics that are really cool, like Kugel Blitz's part. So I don't think it's necessarily a matter of lack of innovation and lack of quality. It's just these levels are all so new that it's hard to keep up. I keep up a lot with extremes, and even I had not seen like half of these. Like, I pay a lot of attention to extreme demons that come out. I don't think it's necessarily a matter of quality and identityless levels being released. I just think there are so many people who prioritize creating extremes now that it is very difficult for people to remember them all. Like, back in the day, like, obviously you remember stuff like Heartbeat. Acropolis you remember because of the Acropolis remake. Plausibles 3, I feel like people kind of remember. The Flawless, I feel like people kind of remember. The Trail of Fate, people kind of remember. So Good Hell is an OG. Following Up is an OG. Breakout. Do people remember Breakout? I don't know, dude. Hate War, people remember kind of Audio Extraction. I don't think anyone remembers Audio Extraction. But it's not necessarily because of the fact that they are so memorable. Like, I would say, personally, with a lot of confidence, that most of these levels are just straight up not memorable in any other way other than the fact that they are old levels. But it's so easy to just say that new levels aren't memorable when I think personally that is just a matter of too many levels being released. Because if we think about it, Artificial Ascent and Sonic Wave are like right next to each other. These levels came out well more than a month apart. These are the next two levels in line. Like, this is in order of when they got released. Or was it rated? Probably rated. And there is over a month between Artificial Ascent and Sonic Wave. If we go back here, these were rated on the same day, pretty much, right? That's the big difference. The quantity of levels that are being released is the big difference between whether or not levels are memorable now, because you can't realistically remember the 20 extreme demons that are rated every single month because you're not going to be playing them all. Back then, you had a month between each level to play and try the new level to get familiar with. You had a lot of time to familiarize yourself with the levels, and therefore they stick out more. And because of the fact that they've been around for so long, it's so easy to just know the level. Like, I remember a ton of music from like when I was like 12, 13 years old. I only remember the songs that were really, really good, right? And with remembering all the good stuff, you don't really remember all the bad stuff. Like, if we go again back to page 80, if someone would have told me Audio Extraction, like, I would recognize it because they would tell me like Audio Extraction. I would be like, oh yeah, I know that level. If I were to like name all the old extreme demons, I don't think I would have thought of Audio Extraction ever, right? I would have remembered all the levels that are like huge, like Artificial Ascent, Sonic Wave, Thanatos, Bloodbath, right? I think it's just a matter of too much quantity and not necessarily because of the fact that they are identityless, soulless, or they don't have good quality. I think a lot of the new extremes are very, very good, and I think it's just a matter of people not being able to memorize the sheer quantity. Tell me what you guys think. Thank you for watching. This is probably a handful of a video. I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to share my thoughts and opinions because I think this is something that is brought up a lot, and I just simply do not agree with the fact that levels do not feel like they have identity anymore. I think it is just a matter of too many levels. See you guys around. Eat your green, stay healthy, stay hydrated. Thank you for making my better. Hoping it was a little bit better too. Peace out, everyone.